everyone, it's Alice Daemon here with the next part of Lake of Voices. It has been about a week since I last recorded a Lake of Voices episode, so I'm sorry for the delay. I've been kind of out of sorts because I've been playing on my new PS4 lately, so I can get used to whenever my new games arrive for Christmas, for live streaming, and some recorded episodes now, because I figured out how to do recorded episodes for YouTube, which is neat. So, in the last episode, we made some difficult choices, and, I had to leave Bemelle behind with the guide so that I could save Lou, because I didn't want to lose either of them, because at one point I had lost one or the other when I did a different try. So, this time around, I'm going to try my best to see if we can't all make it to wherever the heck we're supposed to be going. Also, sorry for not uploading a video yesterday. I was just spending the whole day, beating Final Fantasy 15. It was nice. Alright, so let's get into it. And I hope that the sound's okay, because I haven't been recording on the computer in a while. Alright, so which one is it? Oh, God. I don't remember. Alright, well, we started off on 4. So I believe we're around here somewhere. Oh, wait, it says new, so this has got to be the new one. November 4th. Yeah, this has got to be the one we're on. Wait, what's the history for this? Okay, so are you still curious about me? I wouldn't mind sharing more if you'd like. I can't give specifics, but if that's fine then. Oh, in the last episode we were about to just learn about more of Lou, so okay, we're gonna learn about Lou today. Yes, of course, please do. I need to learn more about you. He grins at me. However, his face quickly falls. He has to look away as he prepares to open up.
I was the black sheep of my village. I wasn't ever able to accomplish anything, and it felt like I never belonged.
Oh my God, Lou, I know the feeling.
I couldn't go anywhere else. It wasn't possible for someone like me. I didn't exactly want to leave, though. I only wanted to feel I was worthwhile, that I was wanted, needed.
My baby Lou!
I tried again and again to be that to someone, but it was pointless.
Aww. He chuckles bitterly.
Like myself.
I pointedly give him a frown. He ducks his head further.
You probably already know that much about me by this point, huh? I'll move on. During one of my attempts to be of any use, I made some mistakes. I got caught by people who threatened my village. I didn't have the nerve to stand up to them. I put everyone I knew at risk.
Oh no!
I had a chance to make up for what I did, but I didn't take it. And now this is where I am.
Aww. His face falls to the depths of despair.
The worst part is, the longer I'm here, with you, the less I regret it. No matter what happens to them or me, I wouldn't ever want to change my decision to go with you. I'm such a selfish coward. At least I'm embracing that now.
After 1 week self-derisive laugh, he sighs a defeat. I want to help Lou. I wish he could see his own worth. However, my mind is distracted. Something in his story strikes me. When we first found him, he was heading in the opposite direction of us. He must have started from the other shore. There's only one village located around that direction.
Lou, are you from Hammer? That's where I'm heading. It's currently under siege, and I've been asked to assist in pushing the Brigadiers back.
He wordlessly stares at me. His expression is clouded with unreadable emotion. After a moment, he turns to the ground and murmurs softly.
No specifics. I'm sorry.
Oh, come on, Lou! He tries to sound lighthearted, but it's clear that he's shaken. I try to offer him a sympathetic smile.
I understand. The people there will be all right. I will make sure of it.
That's good.
Lou acts as though he chose to cross the road for his only sense of self However, I silently wonder if there's more to it than that. Was he crossing to find help on the other side? Despite my curiosity, I couldn't ask him to elaborate. It's clearly a difficult topic for him, and I already agreed to not get specifics out of this. I reach over to him and gently stroke his back from the nape of his neck slowly down his spine. He shivers at my touch, though it is in no way from discomfort. I caress him and he allows me to. That's weird. We walk together at a steady pace, that irrational sense of peace pervading for a while. Something catches the edges of my eyes, and I gasp quietly. There is a silhouette of something ahead. Is that land? The other shore? I have a difficult time believing what I'm seeing.
We were going the right way.
Really? I can hear the astonishment in his voice as well. He goes from complete shock to confident.
We can make it.
Yeah, I hope so. I nod eagerly. We increase our pace frantically while doing all we can to remain as quiet as possible. Lou remains ahead, a comfortable distance in front of me. We take a few turns here and there and keep running down a single bridge for a time, never allowing our eyes to leave the small sign of land for too long. The silhouette ahead finally comes into full view. I feel my heart pounding with excitement. Even so, I refuse to allow that feeling to let me lower my guard. I need to remain focused. We could so easily fall at the final step, yet nothing threatens us. That's weird. And then we miraculously arrive at the dock. Oh, thank God! I'm so happy! The two of us immediately rush off the bridges onto the safety of solid land. Before I can fully register what happened, I can hear the sound of Lou's airy, overjoyed laughter.
We made it. We actually made it.
I know, right, Lou? I was so worried I'd lose you. Pools of tears form in my eyes and allow myself to relish the joy of the moment. I'm so glad we made it in one piece. This doesn't seem real, but instead some wild, waking fantasy. As the rush of adrenaline escapes my body, I realize that we are alone. Did they make it before us and leave, or...
The guide goes slow.
I breathe deeply and calm myself. Lou is correct. They will make it to the shore soon enough. I have to believe that. I managed to feel settled again. This lake has made me start to count on the worst-case scenarios. Lou smiled contentedly at my calmness. When I catch his eye, he turns away bashfully.
Honestly, the further we went, the more it felt like I remembered where I was when I started. I never mentioned it because I didn't want to get your hopes up, but it worked. I knew which way.
Oh, Lou! I'm so proud of you! I widened my eyes at his words. A surge of emotion zaps through my chest.
That's incredible. You saved us.
Yeah, you did, Lou. Lou awkwardly half laughs and rubs his arms.
You're the one who saved us. I just assisted a little bit. You're only saying that because you're kind and want me to not keep feeling worthless. But it's okay. This is enough for me. More than enough.
Sweet precious baby Lou! I beam at him. His response doesn't surprise me at all. I feel quite pleased that he was able to admit that he helped at all. I wrap my arms around his neck and gently embrace him. He readily eases into the hug, as though he was waiting for it. Lou wraps his arms around my back and presses his face into the crook on my shoulder while murmuring softly to me.
I'm so grateful it was this night.
What? What are you talking about? The two of us separate, though we still stand close. He sighs comfortably, then his face cocks into a somewhat playful grin.
You know, everything that's happened to me before this point, well, that's water under the bridge.
Do not talk about bridges, Lou. We just got off one. I gave him the most unimpressed look I can manage. I will never understand how he's content joking about this nightmarish lake. Exactly! Despite that, I can't help but help the tiny smile that whispers across my lips because that is so purely him. Lou snickers. Even though I still fear there's nothing about this place to jest over, I can't bring myself to staunch his good mood after everything we've been through these past days. He deserves to be happy, and I will continue to protect that. Yes, protect Lou's smile!
We shouldn't stay here. We don't have any light, and those monsters could notice us.
Yeah, we need to move. Lou's face immediately falls.
So this is goodbye. You're going to Hammer. I'm not.
What? Lou, no! All my thoughts crash around me. I had forgotten a moment that we did not have the same goals. I formed a view of the future where the two of us would stay together after all this was over. He looks into my eyes with a strange, softened sorrow. I can't place what it is, but something about it causes a knot in my chest. I almost choke on my words.
Where will you go then? If you don't mind telling me.
He simply looks away. I wait for a moment, and he doesn't continue. I do.
If you have nowhere in mind, you should come with me. Where I'm going won't be safe yet. However, it will be soon, and I will defend you until it is.
Please, Lou, don't leave us. I want you to come with us. He bites his lip, though finally is able to face me.
I'd like to. More than you know. But I can't. I need you to trust me when I say that if I did go, it wouldn't make anything better. I'm so sorry.
But I can't leave you alone, Lou. Something horrible will happen to you. He looks the same as when I first met him, holding himself together because if he doesn't, he might fall apart. But now something within him is different. It's stronger than the utter despair of failure when we first met. It's solid, unwavering, and accepting.
You don't have to come. I understand. Still, I'd like to see you again.
Yes! He makes a small noise, something between a whimper and a grunt. Lou nods.
I want that too. When you have the chance, come back here. I'll wait for you. I promise.
I blink in surprise.
What? Lou, that doesn't make any sense.
He simply smiles. I suddenly get an urge to hold him.
Maybe it doesn't, but that's the only option we have. No matter how much I hate this shore, it's close enough and far enough.
I stare at him intensely, trying to understand what's going on in his head. He weakly looks up at me and waves.
Goodbye, Kikka.
No! Lou! Come with me! In a blink, he's gone. I managed to just catch a glimpse of him dashing off into the darkness of the forest.
Wait!
Lou! Come back here! I try in vain to call for him until my voice goes hoarse. He either doesn't hear me or doesn't listen. Lou completely disappears into the night. I stand there, stunned. I quickly shake off the shock and step into the forest. It's no use. He's not on the pathway, and there's no trace of where he could be. He's gone. I realize a tear is falling down my cheek. I wake off the errant tear and ball my hands into fists. I vow myself that no matter what happens, I will return to this lake for him. I have to find him. I have to. This can't be the last time. I will not let it be the last time. Lou, you get back here right now, mister. Lou, please wait for me. I hurried to Hammer as quickly as I could. I already failed to help another during my journey. I could not afford to fail the villagers. They were grateful to see me, for it was a desperate situation indeed. The urgency meant that my mind was occupied with other matters. I worked tirelessly to aid Hammer's own guards in forcing back the brigaders. But during the moments of calm and when the sun went down, I would remember the lake. Bemelle was of great help during the fight. His outwardly positive demeanor lifted the spirits of many around him, but I could see from the shadows in his eyes that he hadn't forgotten what we went through. Rather than be paralyzed by it, he is pushing himself to be even stronger. I admire that about him, and I fully intend to support him the way he does for me. When receiving payments for his services, the guide must give a full report of all those who both succeeded and failed to cross the lake. Oh my god, Margaret, I'm so sorry! The name and fate of Margaret soon became known in Hammer. I added that she was an intelligent, thoughtful person and urged them to show respect for her passing. I hope that one day I will have the opportunity to go to her hometown and give my own proper respects. I have not heard nor seen the guide since then. He will remain obscured in that realm of fog and fear, a mysterious light off in the distance that is ever out of reach of the real world. Then, once the situation was stable enough for me to take some time for myself, which I'm glad that Bemelle was able to make it back okay, because I didn't mention it before, I arrived on the shore of Sinnlos at dawn. It's late enough that only the lonely dock remains, a small monument of the horrifying maze that haunts the nights of this lake. I weave my way through the thick fog and jagged roots. I have little idea of what I'm supposed to do since Lou ran off before making any actual plans. I wander around searching for the boy. I peer across the trees and rocks, but there's no trace of him to be found.
Kikka.
What the heck? Guide? What are you doing here? I heard my name being called in the distance. My heart jumps. I recognize that voice. It's the icy tone of Sinnlos' only guide. I turn to see him walking towards me. It is expected that he's here. Still, this is far from the reunion I am striving for. I have difficulty in not being somewhat bitter. He appraises me quietly before humming and understanding.
You came back for him.
Yeah, of course. Why would I leave Lou behind? My defenses shoot up.
How do you know about that?
Yeah, wait a minute. You weren't even here. His eyes bore deeply into mine, and I feel a chill down my spine.
Lou is dead. He was executed.
No!
What?
All the air is sucked from my body. The guide offers no further explanation, and it hits me hard.
No, that can't be. You have to be wrong.
Oh my Lord! You cannot do this to me! His face is scrunched up in what could possibly be sorrow as he begins to speak.
It wasn't possible for Lou to escape from what he had done. His fate was sealed. No one could save him.
I could have saved him if he just stayed with me! He releases a long breath before he continues.
That is why he told me everything, in case he couldn't be here himself. Lou did wait for you. He stayed for as long as he could. His death was not peaceful. However, it was proud.
No! Time seems to nearly stop as I sit beside myself with a lurching pit in my stomach. Lou was here with me in what feels like only a moment ago, and now the guide sighs melancholically.
It all feels so pointless. Still, you gave Lou something he never had, and it seems he gave you something in return. Perhaps that does have worth.
My mind is racing and my heart pounds painfully in my chest. I have difficulty believing he actually thinks that is true. It does seem as though he would like to, at the very least. I want to believe it as well. Slowly, I reach into my pocket and gently stroke the shell Lou gave me. Without another word, the guide walks off into the distance. I don't make any attempt to follow him. I fully take out the shell to look at it. Somehow, I didn't want him to see. It was between just the two of us. I stare at the beautiful gift, grasping it in my hands. I then turn my eyes to look at the lake. Hot tears pool in my eyes and start to fall down my cheeks. The things he said, the way he was so willing to leave everyone behind, why he seemed so prepared to let himself die, it all became so much clearer in an instant. It truly was hopeless from the start. I squeeze my eyes shut and imagine his face, tracing every line, every expression, and engraving it into my memory.
Lou, I'll always remember you. I won't allow what you've done to be for nothing. I promise.
I sit there for what I couldn't say how long, drinking in the eternal image of Lou while vowing to never allow him to leave my thoughts. Then I open my eyes and leave the shore behind. I still find it difficult to accept Lou's cruel death. Same! I'm about to lose my shiz! I have yet to remove the shell from my pouch. Carrying it gives me at least some comfort. That helps me continue on despite the pain. And I will not stop trying. I will still fight to protect others. Through it all, Lou will stay with me. He won't simply fade into the mist. I choose to believe that in this way, his soul can find peace. So, that's the end, isn't it? I think it got frozen. Yep, it's frozen. I'm gonna wait a bit and see if it'll unfreeze. Well, I'm upset. Oh, that's it then. That's the end. So you really can only save just one. You can't save Bemelle. You can't save Margaret. You can't save Bemelle, Margaret, and Lou. You have to pick only one of them to save. So in this one, we saved Bemelle. But, oh, it makes me so angry. I'm so sad now. Well, I'm not going to leave it like that. If anyone that deserves saving, it's going to be Lou. So, I am so sorry, Bemelle, but you gotta go. Okay, I gotta figure out where I have to go back to. What is this one? Let's load this one. See what it says. Oh wait, no, that's not it. Hang on. No, I want to load. Stop it. Let me load. this is what we just started off on. What does this one do? Take Bemelle, take Lou. Take Bemelle.
You have to take the other one, guide.
Oh wait, I think I did that one last time. So let's do this one. Take
You
Lou.
have to take the other one, guide. Kikka doesn't want to go, and I don't.
Well, never mind, because he's just gonna say I don't need you anyway. What am I gonna do? I want to save you, Lou. What is this one? Load this file. Oh.
It needs to be done. This is what it means to cross Sinnlos.
Oh. Hang on, I don't know. Where was it? This one? There was a branching path where Bemelle fell into the water, or frickin'
If you're going to fight, then
Lou fell
Lou.
into the water. So I'm just gonna have to let Bemelle fall in the water, I guess. I don't know. Alright, don't do this one because he'll fall in and then... Oh wait, maybe I should have let him fall in. Shoot. Oh well. I won't go. Let someone else stay. What the heck's happening? I didn't mean to hit that. No, give me it. That's the beach one. I'm trying to remember as best I can. This is the old saves. This is the one I just played. How did I get to fall into the water last time? Was it this one? I think it was this one. And then... Yeah, there it is, Bemelle. He falls into the water.
You cannot stay there. You must keep going.
I count my breaths in an attempt to calm myself. As long as I stand here, Lou can't move.
I'm going to start walking again.
I will too.
Lou speaks very softly. Now with only 2 steps of feet instead of 3, it is not as difficult a journey to make. The mere idea of one of us being missing pains me to my core. Eventually we make it to the other side of the narrow bridge, and the remaining 3 of us stand together quietly as we process what happened. I feel my free hand over my face to cover my eyes as I begin to weep. Not all of us made it. No matter how many times I stated in my head, I am not able to make myself accept it. So if anyone is confused, I let Bemelle fall into the water this time instead of trying to save them, either of them. Because either at this point in the juncture, Bemelle would fall into the water or Lou would fall into the water. But somehow I made it so that neither of them fell into the water. So I'm going to try this way and see if I cannot save Lou. Because that was my intent from the beginning once I found Lou. We were all just here a moment ago, and yet now, how could this have happened?
Forget what you saw. As of right now, nothing matters except for the fact that we have yet to reach the shore. Morning will arrive soon. We must continue.
I can understand the words. I need to keep myself together until I reach the shore, and yet it seems impossible to actually do. Everyone is being lost, one by one. I can't take it. Lou gently places a hand on my back and whispers to me quietly.
It's okay.
The guide taps the base of his staff into the boards, not allowing me to become lost in my sorrow. Lou shuffles towards the guide, but he doesn't make it very far before he runs out of light from my lantern to remain in. Lou comes back, taking my hand and cradling it in his own, then starts walking. I manage to make myself take a step forward. My stomach twists as we simply have to move past the death of another person for the second time. It's so cruel. Bemelle was a wonderful god and a wonderful person. He was striving towards so much, but it was all lost in a moment. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Me too! I can't save everyone in this dang game! After hours of navigating the webs of bridges, the faint silhouette of the shore creeps into the view. It seems unbelievable that the end is in sight. Even that whips of hope does little to ease the ache inside me. I still feel hollow inside. Those of us remaining continue in the direction of the shore, and the darkness around us begins to break. A seed of worry sprouts inside me. Will we make it? The guide ahead seems to have no sign of concern on his face. He is calmer than I have ever seen him. I hold on to the hope that we will all make it through. The sky above becomes tinged with red as we head down a long stretch of boards. We walk further and further into the mist before what comes into view halts my steps. A dead end. Oh, come on! I gasp at the sight. It's sunk. Why? Why did this bridge have to fall now? The shore is there. I can see it in front of my eyes. Lou's mouth hangs open, completely dumbfounded over the sight.
Is there any other path?
I ask urgently, making an effort to keep myself from sounding too panicked. The guide doesn't respond or even turn to face me. He just keeps staring ahead at the end of the pathway.
Guide? Our way has been taken from us. We need to find another bridge before the sun rises. Listen to me.
Finally, the guide stirs from my harsh calls. He speaks in a distant sort of way, as if he were in a trance.
This bridge didn't sink. It was never the path to the shore. And yet here we are.
What?
What?
I took the wrong way. We can't reach the shore.
What do you mean?
I wonder how much of this was a mistake.
Oh my god, can you stop? Lou stands still with an icy expression. This cannot be happening. It can't. He took us the wrong way, and he did it intentionally? The medicine, it robbed him of logic, or perhaps it was his will that was lost. If he had taken less, would this not have happened? Or was it over as soon as I left him to the Nixi while on the shore? My mind begins to race with a million other questions, but I snap myself out of it. There is only one pressing matter to attend to at this moment in time. I forcibly grab the guide by his shoulder and make him turn towards
You
us.
need to show us the correct bridge, or else we're going to die.
He brushes my hand off of him, dropping his staff to the side in the process. I grab his wrist to try to pull him forward. He remains solidly planted on the bridge, with more strength than I anticipated given his hazy state. I tighten my grip, intending to make him move this time. However, he speaks before I can.
I have done all that I can. Do what you will.
What is that supposed to mean? My hand slipped from the guides at those words. I look at him, utterly baffled. We do not understand him, not in any way. I feel backed into a corner as the sun rises higher. Someone touches my forearm. Lou is looking up at me with a severe expression on his face.
We need to leave now. The guide, he isn't going to the shore this time.
Is Lou actually suggesting we leave the guide behind to die? The bridge begins to violently quake below us. Well, I guess that's what is going to happen. Lou pulls at my arm, urging me to follow him. I swallow hard. This is foolish. There's enough time for any of us to make it. He is aware of that. I quickly grab Lou's hand and we start to race across the boards. Not too much progress is made before the shaking morphs into an urgent shuddering and sinking. Despite the bridges starting to disappear below, we keep running until there is no more bridge left to cross. I had tried desperately to tread water, but my armor weighs me down in this dense fluid. Inevitably, my strength is quickly sapped away. I don't sink so much as I plummet down into the lake. The painful fighting burning in my lungs takes a few minutes to subside. Then I slip into unfeeling nothingness. Well, what the frick? Lake of voices. So, that's definitely a bad end. Are you kidding me? Is there no way to save Lou? Oh my god. His expression immediately falls when I say this. He stares down at the bottle of his hand dejectedly. I sigh. I don't enjoy dashing his hopes and not being completely at the mercy of the guide. However, this reckless behavior is more likely to get all of us killed. He cannot carry a man for this entire journey.
I'm aware that you have good intentions, but having a mutiny on our guide is going too far. Considering the state he is in, it's possible that his mind is clouded already because of the pain. What if he is no longer able to keep his eyes open after a while? If the guide cannot take care of himself, then he won't be of assistance to anyone.
Exactly what happened in the last part. Bemelle scans me, and I can tell he still has reservations over my argument. I can't blame him. The guide will not give up on his own life over some span. The guide will not give up on his own life over some pain. Yet, I stand by my reasoning and look at him firmly. Bemelle looks at me and then back it down at the bottle, and the others start to grow nervous over our battle of wills.
Hand back the medicine. The guide won't leave us behind as long as we follow diplomatically. We all must cooperate.
We focus our sight back on the guide. Realizing he's become the center of attention, he haltingly gives us a nod. Bemelle clicks his tongue a few times before doing as I asked and handing the vial back to his owner. He feebly accepts the glass and uncaps it, drowning half the vial without wasting any more time. I feel confident that the guide will continue to show us the way. However, Bemelle starts to grow frustrated when the guide does not immediately speak, pressing his heel into the wooden boards below in anticipation. The guide softly rests his forehead against the side of his staff. His eyes droop slightly as he relaxes his muscles briefly. He waits patiently for the medicine to kick in, forcing the rest of us to do the same. After a brief pocket of time, the guide's labored breathing steadies, and he slowly pulls himself up onto his feet with his staff as leverage. Despite stumbling slightly and trying to get up, the spike in energy he receives from the medicine is noticeable.
We must continue now.
I hope it works this time! He doesn't waste that strength communing with us further, instead turning his back towards our small group, and with that, the brief statement is finished. He starts down the bridge. I can still see him limping. I cannot deny that is worrying. He already taken half of the medicine. Would taking enough to properly walk be so much of a risk? I begin to follow the guide, and the two with me follow behind, making sure to stay within the safe harbor of my light. Once I'm near him, I notice that he isn't becoming more stable in gait. I ponder over whether I should mention my thoughts to him or not. No, say nothing! I bite my tongue and let the thought go. Now is not the time to be making even more of a fuss. The guide knows how to manage these types of situations. Creating another discussion will waste more of our time and accomplish nothing. It's already been settled, and I need to keep it that way. If he takes more of the dose, his mind will be clouded, and he will not get us to where we need to go. Our group moves at a much brisker pace than the previous night. After the exchange that just took place, the mood has sunk low into a murky pool. Not a word is exchanged between us. The only sound that accompanied us are the whispers of the demons in the lake and the pounding of our feet hitting the wood. After some time, we encounter a strange bridge. The oddity is noticeable immediately. The boards bend inward and becomes far narrower than the other bridges we've come across. The guide marches forward with no hesitation, while the rest of us awkwardly halt in the front of the unknown path. He calmly walks in the surrender of the boards. Halfway there, he begins to wobble. I suck in a breath as I can only watch. To my relief, the guide is able to steady himself and make it all the way across without another hitch. Now it is our turn, and with only a single lantern shared between us, we have to be mindful of how to cross without leaving anyone in darkness.
I will stay in the middle. One of you will lead while the other goes behind.
And this is where we lose Bemelle. I ponder over what positions to take. The person in front could potentially stall the others or bump into us, so it seems important to send someone capable of crossing without stopping. Yet, it may also be better to send someone who could possibly be left behind first to ensure that doesn't happen. I look over to my two companions, who also seem pensive over the decision. None of us want to make the wrong choice. I I hope dearly to myself that we're exaggerating how dangerous crossing this thin bridge could be.
I can take the front. It won't be any trouble.
You say as you fell into the frickin' water the last time. In an effort to break the stalemate, Bemelle offers to go in front. Lou nods gingerly, seeming relieved that someone else has made the decision. With the order decided, the three of us carefully start to make our way across. First, Bemelle steps on the narrow bridge. A few seconds later, I follow after him. And after her pause, behind me, Lou starts going across. And this is where we lose Bemelle. And since I've read this all before, I'm just going to skip ahead until...
We need to focus on keeping ourselves centered. We can't let the bridge tilt.
I'm just going to keep skipping until I get to the part where hopefully the guide will not get us lost and we won't just drown in the water. Say nothing.
Should we keep going?
Lou darts his eyes around the lake nervously.
Yes, we need to move forward. If someone knows... Stop!
Wait, was that the right choice? Oh, shoot.
Lou!
Dang it! That was the wrong one! Alright, hang on. I'll get back to it again. Bemelle has to cross first. Otherwise, I'll lose Lou.
We need... Having one less person on this bridge... Bemelle!
Yep, and then we lose Bemelle in the water. Same as before. So now, hopefully, we can save Lou. I'm so sorry, Bemelle Margaret, but I really want to save Lou in this playthrough.
You cannot stay there.
I'm going to start walking.
I will too.
Forget what you saw.
So far, everything's
It's
the
okay.
same. Oh, don't tell me we're gonna get lost again. Those of us remaining continue in the direction of the shore, and the darkness around us begins to break. A seed of worry sprouts inside me. Will we make it? The guide ahead seems to have no sign of concern on his face. I hold on to the hope that we will be able to make it through. We near the very end of the bridges. I can smell the trees and the earth, and even through the fog, I can almost count the remaining bridges between us and land. No! Go away! I'm trying to save Lou! But between the end and us, a prowler appears. Lou doesn't seem surprised, as though he had expected not to make it without further issue or even at all. I eye the monster intently. It makes no move to leave us, so I turn to the guide instead.
Here, take my lantern. Once it's scared off, we'll make our way to the shore. It shouldn't be an issue with it so close by.
The guide says nothing. However, he extends his hand to accept my offer. I feel my body tense for a moment before relinquishing my light to the guide. It's not much farther. I'm sure we can make it. The guide slowly steps ahead. He and the creature brace for confrontation. Lou and I stay close enough to the guide's back to keep from being left behind in the darkness.
Be ready to run. Don't get left behind.
Then he darts forward and launches the light directly at the prowler. It makes a snarling hiss as it retreats, defeated back into the dark black waters. None of us wastes even a second looking back. We push forward. I race across the bridges, desperately trying to keep the guide's light-edged figure in clear sight. I run as fast as I possibly manage without slipping on the boards. We run across the entire way, spurred on by the shoreline rapidly approaching. Oh, thank God we made it to the other side. Miraculously, I felt my feet plunge into dirt. I stumble forwards, nearly collapsing onto the ground while trying to catch my breath. It feels as though I've come out of a long dream. We made it. Lou stares hard at the dirt beneath him. I cannot place what it is that he might be feeling, though I barely know how I feel right now. I rest there quietly for a few moments, taking time to allow my breathing and emotions to settle down. Finally, I look up from my lap and see Lou standing away from me. His gaze is empty as he stares out into the thick fog veiling the lake. As though he realized I was staring, Lou suddenly twists his view back. He looks at one another for a time. I can only guess what he may be thinking. No words need to be exchanged between us. I'm glad for it, because I'm not sure I would be able to speak even if I needed to. The sound of sloshing and wood lurching captures our attention as the bridges begin to sink. In a few minutes, only the lonely dock is left. With that, the guide walks towards me.
It is time to leave this place. There is nothing left for you here.
Upon being addressed by him, I rise to my feet. He has a calm look on his face, though there is force behind his sincerity. I open my mouth and attempt to speak. However, I quickly realize that I have little idea of what to say. Do I thank him for this? Should I give him my trust? Was our survival because of him or despite him? Even now, I cannot know that for certain. And then the fog is removed from my thoughts. And after everything has happened, it becomes clear. I harden my face to match his serious disposition. There is something he is certainly right of. This lake isn't a place to linger. Going round and round in circles will never help. We cannot submit our lives or our minds to Sinnlos. For better or ill, there is only one person who can help those once are within its grasp, the guide. If he were removed, the place would be no safer. What I must do if I truly want to defend others is to keep them from coming here at all. When I return to my village, I intend to make that information acutely known to our elder. For that to happen, we must leave.
Goodbye.
His eyes narrow as he looks over me. I begin to feel uncomfortable under his scrutiny, but for a moment I could swear I noticed him smiling slightly. However, it could be easily a trick of the morning sun. Alright, goodbye, guide! Thanks for nothing! Thanks for letting Margaret die and Bemelle! I took a look away to face Lou, not wanting to get caught up in this any longer. He catches my eyes on him and looks back. Lou opens his mouth, however, no words come out, so he closes it again. The two of us stare each other down awkwardly. And if you insist to stay behind this time, I will drag your sorry butt to the village, where I know you'll be safe with me. You are not going to get executed this time. After another brief moment, he gives me a shaky smile.
Goodbye. And, thank you.
No, you're coming with me. He backs away from me slowly at first, studying my face deeply one last time, before turning around completely and darting into the forest. No! Get back here! I feel so caught off guard by the action that by the time I recover, he's already gone. I recognize that he probably needs some time alone to process what happened. He's safe. He is alive. That is all that matters. Despite the firmness I so intently tried to have, my heart starts to waver. Bemelle, Margaret, they're both still here. I wish to give them a proper farewell. I want to do something. My eyes begin to water, and I almost turn back around. No, it is done. I need to remember that. They would never want me to ascribe their lives to Sinnlos. Nothing would disgrace their memory more. I will keep them in my thoughts without allowing the lake to poison me. With my steadfastness truly regained, I march into the light with no hesitation. With a solemn heart, I at last arrive at Hemmer. They were grateful to see me, for it was a desperate situation indeed. The urgency meant that in my mind was occupied with other matters. I worked tirelessly to aid Hemmer's own guards in forcing back the brigaders. And I know I said that before, but I guess I'll just read it again. But during the moments of the calm and when the sun went down, I remembered the lake. The villagers were alarmed when I arrived on my own, but it did not take them long to guess at what might have happened to Bemelle. Having to recount the terrible story was almost more than I could endure. Yet I know that in the end it would be worse when I must tell my fellow guards back home. They deserve to hear the truth from me, regardless of how I feel. When receiving payments for his services, the guide must make a full report of all those who succeeded and failed across the lake. The name and fate of Margaret soon became known in Hammer. Yes. Alright. I guess I don't have to read this part because I already did it. Lou never reappeared after walking away that morning. I do not know where he has gone, but wherever he went, I pray that he will live a safe and wonderful life. Perhaps someday we will meet once more. I have not heard nor seen the guide since then. Okay, we already read that part. I worry about when I must return home to my usual life. It will be difficult to continue as things were before. One thing I know for certain is that my village elder must be told that no one is to cross Sinnlos again. Ever! This lake is horrible! It's already taken so many lives! I have already told the Hemmer leaders the same. Not a single more person should have to experience what we did. Its darkness will remain with me for the rest of my days. Though so much was lost, I try to believe that our lessons will keep others from suffering the same way, and In the end, something will be gained. Lake of Voices. Oh. What, you gonna play me like that? You gonna play me like that? Ugh, well, I guess that's better than nothing. I guess that's better than Lou being executed. But now I don't know whether Lou's alive or not, or anything. They just said that he went off on his own. I was kind of hoping for a better ending with freaking Kikka being with Lou, because, to be honest, I kind of shipped them together because Lou is a precious baby and he deserves someone to take care of him and look out for him. But, my god, this game with the fields. You're getting me again. But yeah, this has been Alice Daemon playing The Lake of Voices. I think I will end the series here with part 3 because I don't think I can do this again. Like, it was so emotional. I've already did a part where I saved Bemelle, but I didn't do Bemelle's route. Like, make him full affection for Kikka. So, and I don't know how to save Margaret, to be honest. I guess if I sacrificed Lou and maybe Bemelle, I could save Margaret, but I don't know. Every time I tried to save Margaret, she died no matter what, so. I will leave a link in the description below so that you guys can play it for yourself and try to get all the different endings that you want. But, that's it for this series. I'm going to move on either tomorrow or next week. I'm going to do the next StarCraft 2 gameplay, so I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!